If you are on the internet for a long time, you probably heard at least once of a game called Yumme Nikki. On June 26 of 2004, an anonymous person released an RPG Maker game called Yumme Nikki, or in English, a Dream Diary. And that's pretty much what this game is about, the representation of the abstract environments and things you usually see in your dreams. Through the whole game, this is the kind of music you listen, ambient kind of dissonance music, which makes the dream feeling even more strong. I like this game, but not really as a game. For me, it's way more an experience, since it doesn't have a story and real characters. Only if there was a game with these elements, but still with the abstract stuff on it. Oh, this is my favorite game of all time. Even though I compare this game a lot to Yumme Nikki, keep in mind that they are not that similar. Actually, the only similarities they share is the abstract environments and characters, if I can call them that, but the rest is pretty different. The way these themes are dealt with are totally separated from each other. But now, why do I love this game? As usual, let's go by parts. This game is created by Marty's Ghost and wait, quick note here. As I'm writing this and recording, I'm literally at the hospital. I had an allergic episode and fucking died. So this is the reason why this video is a bit shorter and the reason that I'm not editing a lot. So yeah, that sucks, but it's the only way I found. And the only way for me to survive is if you subscribe and leave a like. And also transfer $1,000 to my bank account. Created by Marty's Ghost, Off the Game is a game with all the characteristics I mentioned a lot of times before, released on 14 May of 2008. So again, why do I love this game? Let's go by parts. First, for an overview. Also, this video will contain some spoiler, but not enough to make your experience and play it worse. There are a few present, so keep this in mind. The first thing we can see as soon as we open the game is this menu, while this sick song plays. You can already notice how awesome this game's soundtrack is, but let's save the musical topic to later in this video. We open a new game and this message pops up. It's kinda comic, or maybe not actually. You enter your name and you're explained about the mission to purify this world that the character you control, the better has. So, welcome to Zone Zero. In a technical way, this game's art is not that incredible. More specifically, the stuff you see on the tile sets and everything in the true world. But the designs of the world and characters are awesome. They are all very simple, but still has something different from any other thing I ever saw. It's stuff you see in your daily life, but distorted to a point that you cannot recognize too much. There cannot be any other living beings in Zone Zero, so I must assume you're a mere figment of my imagination. This is the Judge. He's a very important character that will guide you through the first phase and a couple others. I found the formal way he talks very interesting. It feels natural and fitting, but at the same time not. After learning how to battle and resolve some puzzles, and also feeding the Judge for some reason, you enter a different place, the Nothingness. This place is where you travel through the different areas of the game at the speed of light, and then you are at Zone 1. And this is where you meet the Elzans, humanoid creatures, workers that through very weird and specific activities contribute to make this universe function. In this area, they mine smoke. Yeah, smoke. It doesn't really make sense, but that is the point. It doesn't need to make. They get the smoke and the queen send it to the different areas of the game. And after entering the smoke mines and getting rid of the spirits, purifying the place, and also learning about the iron collection that fucking comes from cow's meat, you see this man. Dayton, he's an asshole. He treats everyone, including you, with no respect, and he really thinks he is superior. And he's really bad. He's like the boss, literally, of this area, and he's not a big fan of what you're doing there. At one point, since Dedan is pretty aggressive, the better we want to purify him. You then through several areas, purifying people and, well, the literal bosses of the world. And near the end, things get even darker and begin to get even disturbing. But I'm not going to talk a lot more about the other areas because I really recommend you to play this game. So let's go to the next part, one of the best of the game, the soundtrack. I like to divide the soundtrack off in three parts, them being the ambient music, the electronic slash off slash crazy stuff, and the miscellaneous music that I couldn't really fit in any category. A track that perfectly exemplifies the atmospheric music of this game is Rainy Day and Meat. It's very simple, being simply one ambient safe play while a rain sound plays at the background. It's kinda relaxing but at the same time uncomfortable. The same thing to the track Tender Sugar. It's an ambient song with very scary and weird elements. It feels decaying, it feels decadent, just like the area of the part it plays. The music really fits perfectly, but a track who really represents the off slash electronic slash fuck it part of this game is the classic Pepper Steak. It uses a lot of samples, very iconic ones. It's really groovy, very jumpy, and uses a lot of crazy drum patterns. Another song that represents the style and actually has a lot of the ambient elements from the other songs is Soft Breeze. It starts really ambient, but soon with other instruments entering, a very agitated drum pattern comes in. Another track that shares both ambient stuff and the electronic stuff is Avatar Beat. After Beat starts a bit less experimental but also carrying an uncanny feeling because of the mixture of the synth similar to a human voice or a bass and the ambient parts of it. After a while, just like in Soft Breeze, the drum comes in and the song gets even better. And the last part of the musical chunk of this video, the miscellaneous, is kinda difficult to describe. You see songs very different from each other. First, Race of 1,000 Pounds. It's literally a jazz song. This song is very cool because while I can see the reason it fits in the game, I can also see how the song on it feels really rest. It's pretty crazy too. Magic Pipe is another great example since it's kinda happy. I have a feeling that the song constantly and purposefully tries to be happy, but knowing it fails, and creates just an unnatural vibe to it. Clockwork is also very iconic. While the sound of, you guessed it, a clock plays at the background, you can hear things similar to voices. Maybe the voices of the Elzans sing this weird char, like they are all a single being. And talking about vocals, there's a track with them in this game. This song plays on the Game Over screen, and talking about Game Over, let's talk a little bit more about something very important of off. The theory of the origin of this word. There are multiple clues, implicit things that talk about the story of a boy named Ugu. Hey, we have some spoilers right now, so stay warned. Ugu is a very young boy. He's sick. It's unknown what disease he has, but he pretty much lives in the hospital because of it. And he's dying. And his word, the word of off, is nothing more but a reflection of his own word, a mere figment of his imagination. And you, the better, is the cancer that is killing this word. Ugo's word. It's not confirmed yet, but many believe that you can even be the representation of this disease, and you, ending Ugo's life and erasing this word, turns the switch that keeps this word on, finally, off. Or actually not. I'm not a big fan of the dream theory, it's pretty generic actually. And something that is very interesting is that Morris Ghost, the creator of this game, confirmed that this theory can and cannot be truth. But what does that mean? Basically, this means that the way you interpret the game is the truth. Do you believe in the karma theory? Well, it's true. Do you believe this is simply an alternative word? It's true. Do you just believe it's a weird word with not a lot of thought put about the origin? That is also true, and it's really cool because it makes sense for a game that doesn't make sense. And this, my friends, is the story of Off the Game, and why this is my favorite game of all time. Damn it, doing this video was difficult. I wrote it and recorded at the hospital as I said, so it took a lot of effort and some pain to make. So make sure to leave a like and a comment to help me. Thanks a lot, and how about you watch this Fnaf video I made? That was all, and goodbye.